Oh,
Hi everyone, good evening.
hi
So yeah,
everyone. Good to meet
we are
you.
back at our workshop for the industry. And I have with me here Lina from Celo Foundation. Nice to meet you. Hi Lina, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, um,
So
one
we are
second.
going to quickly this night to um listen to her tell us
One
about
second. Let
Celo
me
and
just take this out because somehow.
okay.
Okay, let me try. Sorry, I was. Uh,
Okay, what about now?
ah,
Okay,
okay, I can hear you
can
now.
you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, so yeah, let's go on. So I have Linda here with me from Celo, and we are here to learn about building a Celo using the Composer Kit. I am excited, ready to learn from you this evening. So yeah, thank you, Linda. You have the floor, and if there's any question, I'll pick it up for you after the section. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, let me. Um, hi. Hi. Hi, I'm Lena. I am DevRel engineer at Celo Foundation. Let me just give you my Twitter account. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, Lina. Can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
You can hear. Okay.
You can't
Yeah,
hear me.
let's.
Can you hear me? Oh no. You can maybe. Hi. Can you hear me? Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Okay. Great. Um. I can't join the public chat, but I will just post my links in here and then maybe you can just repost them to pin them. I am Gigahertz on Twitter. I have been with Celo for 1.5 years already. And yeah, just a little bit to Celo. I think some of you might have heard about it. Celo is an L2 on the OP stack. So we are in the superchain ecosystem. And what is special about building on Celo is that we have a lot of native stablecoins. We have, of course, the normal stablecoins that you know, like USDC, USDT, but we also have native Celo stablecoins called CUSD, C Euro, C Real, C Naira, Kenyan Shilling, Ghanaian cedis. So we have a lot of regional stablecoins as well in Africa, Latam, and Asia. And we're constantly adding a lot more, which I think is specifically interesting if you build any kind of real world application, anything focused on foreign exchange, and any kind of global application. What makes building on Celo very, very easy is, of course, it's like building on any Ethereum chain. But the thing is, we also have subsend fees and 1 second block finality. This is important for any kind of financial application, for any kind of gaming application, or also AI applications. So it's very easy to scale. Even if you when you want to build user application, normally you would use apps account abstraction, try to cover gas fees to just like make onboarding users much easier. And That's very cheap on Celo with our subs and fees. The last thing that we have that I think is especially interesting is fee abstraction. So, which means that you can pay gas fees in stablecoins. So not only in native tokens like Ethereum or Celo, but also in USDT and USDC and CUSD, which makes Celo specifically interesting for building any kind of user applications. Today, I will share a little bit more about our Celo MCP server, Celo Composer Kit MCP server. And to get started, let's check out our documentation first. So here you can, this is the link to our documentation. And to look, can you pin that maybe, like post it and pin it so people can see it? We can also, of course, share the list of links later. And here in the docs, we have like a tooling section, a build on Celo section. And here we have 2 pages. First of all, quick start with Celo Composer. And that is our starter kit. It's super simple. If you ever build with Scaffold ETH, it's kind of the same, but a little bit more lightweight and easier to get started. And then here we have the Composer Kit UI. That means it already comes with a lot of components that you need. Here are the commands to install it. And then you basically just need to add the provider, and then the components that we have is a wallet connect button and also a way to add avatar and name. We have some payment components and DeFi components for swapping, token selection, and addresses, and also NFT components and identity components. So we also have some simple examples, but that is not what I wanted to show and share with you today. I know you're more advanced builders, so I assume many of you have some experience with building Web3 applications, and just what I wanted to share today is our Celo MCP Composer Kit server. And what does MCP mean? It means Model Context Protocol, and it's basically a bridge between AI agent and external tools and data sources. So in case you are using like me Cursor, you are like, if you still use Visual Studio Code, please switch to Cursor. It's Cursor or Windsurf. It's just, you're saving so much time. And I want to like put a disclaimer. I know vibe coding can be a bit difficult if you get started with it. And I will also add some advice in the end of this talk. So this is like, it's a little bit of an intro also to how to use MCP Celo in your vibe coding session. Very important here is, if you never vibe coded before, I recommend watching 1 or 2 videos on how to properly prompt. I will also drop some advice here, but I also always feel free to reach out. The prompting is the most important thing, so you don't get like a coding salad, right? So what can you do? What does it mean to add an MCP server to Cursor? So as I said, it's kind of stands to like connect your AI agent, in this case, like our Cursor, with external information. Any kind of API calls can be done. What we have in this Composer Kit MCP is basically the information on how to set up a project with this data kit, and then how to add components from the Composer Kit library. And just for everybody who is new to MCPs, the way you would add an MCP server to your Cursor is the following. You just go to settings, Cursor settings, and then here you have you can see kind of your models, like if you have like Claude, if you have Cursor and Gemini. And then you can look at tools and integrations. I already integrated Composer Kit MCP. And here you can also like see all the different tools. And another tool that I implemented is Perplexity Ask. One advice that I give everyone is that most of the models that you use, like Claude or OpenAI, they are not completely up to date. And if you need to, like what we recommend for any kind of search or like prompt that you give would be to prompt saying, please do this and this and this. If you don't know, please ask Perplexity. And what Perplexity will do they will do an online in real life search. And this is incredibly useful and important because you cannot install like an MCP server for everything and just for general questions. In general, a good prompt is always, when you ask your AI to do anything, always say, please let me know what kind of information is missing. If you don't ask that question, then your AI will probably start hallucinating and just like making up some kind of facts. So very like simple setup, but definitely recommended. How would you add a new MCP server? So here, like you can find that in the docs for, let me just do it like that. In the Composer Kit MCP, let me send this here too. In the GitHub, you can find kind of the way to set the MCP client up. So adding this up into your cursor, you will have to do run this command, pip install Composer Kit MCP. And then you need to add this part of code into your MCP server. Composer Kit, the command would be UVX, and then Composer Kit MCP. Very important here. If you have not yet installed UVX, you still need to do that. Like I'm on a Mac, so I would say a homebrew install UV. Very important step, don't forget that. Otherwise, your Composer Kit will just like, it would look empty here in the tools and you will not be able to access the tools. Same for any other MCP server that you install. Always make sure that you have this library installed. Okay, so now that we have our setup ready we can basically get started. For that, we can, let me just, okay, oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Right. So we want to create a new folder that we call Nigeria. And then we open that. And now here we can start talking to our MCP server and start creating our own project. So what you can do is, like I already explained to you, like I showed to you in our docs, that our tools are the Celo Composer for a quick start template, and then Composer Kit UI for adding Web3 specific components. So let me close this. Make this a bit bigger. Okay, so let's start writing this prompt. Please create a React app using Celo Composer. Second. We want to use hard as a framework. You will probably build something with a smart contract, and then add Composer Kit UI to the front end. When setting the app, please create an NFT contract called the East Nigeria. Also make script that can deploy and verify the contract. And then install all dependents. Okay, this is already like a really long prompt. I'm gonna need to make it a bit smaller. What you can see now is like it already called this tool from Celo Composer Kit MCP, and it got information on the CLI Celo Composer CLI info. Then it called this command to create the project, and now I can approve this command. And we are running this command here. And I know. Okay. 1 second. I need to 1 second. I know. I think I know. This is so okay. Right. This is, of course, what happens in in a showcase, but that is okay. I feel like that's kind of an issue with the hard hat. Let me say, can you create a project? Okay. Still getting the same error. 1 second. Feel free to ask questions if you have any. I think this is a great time while I'm solving this. Mhm. Okay, let's PNP. Okay. Okay. So now let's click find. Oops. Should not. Okay. Hmm. That is okay. We're gonna do something else because I think we will just fix that error. I think that should be something in Celo Composer. Let me just try. If we go here, I mean, with what the MCP server basically does, I know we deployed a new version today, so I was hoping that would work perfectly, but of course, before a workshop, things do not always work perfectly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the previous. What's the latest version? See? Okay, we will fix this today. Yeah, I mean, this workshop was like a little bit spontaneous, so please excuse this. It always happens in the workshop. So let me just quickly find the last version. And then we can use that. Okay, we don't want that release. We want the releases before that. Okay. 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 Create that composer with last version. Keeps. Okay, so and okay, I feel like that might be an issue with my environment, but I'm confused. This morning, this worked, so let me just So let me do this. Oh, let me maybe change the node version of my environment. Because, oh, now I know what I did. Great. We need at least a node version of 20 and higher. And I earlier changed my node version to 80 to test something else, and that's why we've been failing. But we're getting there. Amazing. So okay. Somehow, why is it the command? This should not. Why does it? Okay. Can we add? Okay. And look, it only took us 5 minutes to get this running. But yeah, always make sure you're running the right node version if you're running into any kind of errors. Let that be a good lesson for me. And yeah, while this is running, so now while this is running, we can now navigate into our project, and then install dependencies, because I don't think they have been. Perfect. Yeah. Oh, and then we're just gonna run our project and we can see it. Yeah. Okay, now we have here our starter kit and we can get started with adding our components. So now to Composer Kit, I already mentioned we have several components that you can just add. Right now, we just have like a button, a card, and a sheet. you can find, so when we went to, so we want to add more components. So we will go to Composer Kit. We can just ask our MCP server, what components are available from Composer Kit I, and then it, like we already saw this, so let's say please add address component. And so, and then we agree, and we, wait, sorry. And we have here our example component added. We can check Composer Kit MCP has not yet been installed, so please install Composer Kit UI. And then that should happen. No. We should please add in the web directory. Okay, this command was like, okay, we want to run this. Oh. I accidentally closed the wrong window, so let me run this again. Okay. And then we want to run our application again. And I hope you can see well. I'm zooming in, but that means also that like some text might not be so easy to read. So now we have here a new error message, and then which we can easily address. And then we can say an example. These check Composer Kit example address. And here you can see how it checks the examples. Like we have different calls to the Composer Kit MCP, and then this is the example that we get. So now this should perfectly work. And I think, let me just check. Our import is here. That should work well. And let me just check out the Composer Kit. Composer Kit. Yes. Okay. So just to check in our apps. Okay. So something is okay. Okay, so I will look into this. This would work, and it will work when you try this tomorrow for your hackathon project. In general, what I just wanted to show you is that, yeah, you can start in like, if you have installed all of these things and set up these things, you can basically, without having to navigate out of your cursor, you can run all like your whole setup. And it's a very basic UI setup, but what we would recommend is like when you want to improve your UI or UX, you can also always use like front end IDEs like Bolt or Windsurf. And let me get back. I know we are already late, so like let me just quickly get back. What I wanted to share else about hackathons, because like basically what you want to do is set up your project very quickly with good prompts. My advice is spend time on your understanding how to prompt and how to use your tools. And then you want to set up your application as quick as possible, have something that is working. And then my advice is, I have seen 90 projects, hackathon projects in the last month. And what I've seen was like a lot of vibe coded applications, but they didn't have like any personality at all because they did not have, it was like, I saw so many apps that were just like a Farcaster mini app or a quest app or a learning platform, or even, and all of them looked so AI created that I immediately lost interest. So I think what's super important is to like also spend some time on the idea of your app and spend a tiny amount of time to just set up the theme for your application before you start vibe coding. Or like with vibe coding, set up a few basic components and a theme to like personalize your application. And then, I mean, with vibe code, you should be able to like build an app in like a day, right? So you really have time to focus on your ideas, on like understanding who are your users, who are you targeting, and I once built a hackathon project in, I'd say, like, I think we had 2 hours or 3 hours, and I also used AI a lot for like just in general the ideation, finding a good theme, but also understanding who are my users, who is my target group. And my other advice, and I know some of you might build backend application, but as soon as you build any kind of user-focused application, I would always recommend to use focus on using libraries like Privy or and let me just show you that Privy or Third Web, Alchemy Smart Wallets, and so on to like enable account abstraction. Try to prevent to use vocabulary that is very Web3 connotated, like NFT or showing the wallet address, saying minting, and so on. Like really focus on creating a simple, easy user application. You can find smart wallets on our wallet page in our docs. And then also spend time on your video, spend time on your presentation. I'm saying that because I looked at 90 hackathon projects in the last months, and half of them I was not able to evaluate because nobody created a video, so I didn't understand what they wanted to build. So please make sure to like have a great video, spend time on creating your README. It's so simple with AI now to explain what you build, how like the architecture of the project, and spend time to explaining the problem and the solution for your project. I think, I'm not sure if you're already using AI agents to evaluate projects, but we use that more and more at hackathons. And creating a clear README is not only great for judges, but it's also going to be important when your project gets evaluated in general. And also if you use that for your portfolio. So I'm recommending to really spend 4 to 5 hours on your presentation. And if you don't have that time, find somebody non-technical, like a project manager who can help you with that. But yeah, we have 10 minutes left. I just want to finally invite everybody to feel free if you build your project. We have an ongoing contest that's like monthly ongoing contest called Proof of Ship, where you can just like upload your projects and get rewarded for building on Celo. So that contest just started on the 1st and will be running till the 24th of August. So when you finish your hackathon project and you feel like you still want to continue working on it, you want to improve it, I know hackathons are always way too short, feel free to apply with your project and use the time to like really scale and improve on your project. If you have any questions, please reach out in our Celo Builders Telegram group. You can scan this QR code, but I know we will also share the link later to that. And yeah, follow us, our Twitter account. You can also follow my Twitter account here. And yeah, I would be happy to answer any kind of questions. And yeah, do we have questions? Let me stop sharing my screen.
Okay. Hi, Nina. Thank you so much for the section. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much, and it's another awesome section. So, like you said,
yeah.
Okay. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. What about now?
I can hear you. I think it's just lagging, so I keep interrupt. But like, please speak. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. So thank you so much for the section. So question will be sent to the Telegram group, and we can always follow up there for
Yeah.
them to know more about it, how to like improve. So thank you so much for the time
Thank you
to
so
speak with
much.
us tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, do have a
One
nice day.
one last thing that I just wanted to share is I'm not sure I totally forgot to mention that, but I think it's very cool. I'm not sure how many people are interested in building mini apps for Farcaster or no Farcaster, but in my opinion, it's one of the best ways to get a lot of users quickly and to play around and be on mainnet and just like experiment and understand Web3 development and also get a good community. So in Celo Composer, instead of saying create a React app, just say a Farcaster mini app. With Celo Composer, you can create like a template for a Farcaster mini app. I will share a lot, like in the Telegram group that you created already, right? I will share a lot of the more links. I didn't present that, but I think that is actually something that could that is like I will share an additional workshop to that for that because it's super easy to do as well. Like maybe even easier than what I just showed. And it's really cool because you can um you get rewards when you build on Farcaster, right? If you have an application on Farcaster and people use it, you get rewarded. And yeah, just I will just share more information. I think if you build any kind of mini app instead of just building it without any context, just build it for Farcaster, and I think that makes the mini app more just better. And I know there will be upcoming Farcaster hackathons as well. So just a little disclaimer for people who already know Farcaster and who were thinking about building it. We have a template for that as well. Okay.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
like you said, we have the Telegram group, so we can pass all that information there, so we can be able to engage them and everything. So, thank you so much for your time. We really,
Thank
really
you so much
appreciate.
for having me and good luck to everybody who is building. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.